Cyber Ninja Online, guys, and we're back here with, well, we're here today with FTL, Faster Than Light. First thing I want to point out is, for some reason I can't record this game full screen. I have no idea why, so I'm recording it windowed, but that's irrelevant. I just thought I'd point that out. I have no clue why I can't record it full screen, but whatever. Anyways, for anyone that knows this, they know that it's a pretty awesome game. It's pretty fun. For those that you don't know this, it's the game where you control a crew on a spaceship, and what you have to try to do, okay, let's see the whole thing about it. You're a part of this like alliance force, and you have to try and relay a message back to your main force before the rebels get there. And so you start like, I don't know how many spaces away, it's like 8 or 9 spaces away. Actually, no, it's 8 spaces away. And you move through like a whole solar system basically, and then like you jump out of that to the next solar system, but the whole time there's rebel forces pursuing behind you. They're trying to chase you and capture you. So anyways, though, this is a really fun game. I've played it quite a lot beforehand. Yeah, so I have like a whole bunch of different ships too, different layouts for them. That's about it. I only have the 3 different ships, but I have like the 2 different layouts for 2 of the ships. Technically I have 5 different ships, if you guys can catch me there. Alright, so I guess I'll just be using this ship for now. What should we name it? Longest part of the video right here. No, I'm kidding. So as you can see, you can rename your ship. I'll name it XCOM1, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, though, you get to rename your ship, and then there's a whole bunch, like, there's a whole different list here. And then if you actually click the list button, it'll bring them all up, and then you can see them. And it kind of gives you a hint to how you get them. Like, you have to beat the boss for that one. Kind of looks like a penis. Ship is being built near the NG homeworld. To unlock it, you need to help them, but keep in mind they only trust their own kind, so you need to be like an NG and do that whole thing. Mantis, Slug, Unidentified, Zolteon. So the whole bunch of different ships. As I said, we're just going to be using that Kessel Cruiser here. That's what it's known as. So whenever you start a ship, like the different ships are different, but if you start the same ship, so if I was to exit out and restart the ship, all the things will be the same about it. But if I was to switch the type of it or switch the different ships, this stuff changes, and this stuff changes. All of this change. I'll get to that in a second. So that's what the ship looks like completely, but you'll never actually be seeing that unless we get killed. What you'll be seeing is it like this. This is the main view of the ship, and this is how you pretty much progress through your game. Now what happens is, with each ship, you'll start with some crew. Depending on the ship, you'll have more or less crew and whatnot. With this ship, we get 3 crew. Now you can customize the people. You can change the gender of them, and you can change their name. The only actual type, well, I shouldn't say that. You can only change the gender of humans, but besides that, you really can't do much more. You can change the name. That's basically it. There's many different races. I believe there's there's I want to say 6 different races: human, rock, Zolteon, Mantis, Slug, NG. I believe I'm not forgetting any, so I believe that's 6. This one only starts with 3 humans, so you don't get to see much. Scroll over this, and like you hover over that, and it will tell you, can't really move it, but right here, when I scroll over, it will tell you like stats about them, I guess. So top there, it says Eiley Karis, so Karis is the last name. Brackets human, so we know he's a human. Humans are common and uninteresting, no exceptional traits. Different races have different traits there. Crew skills, that will never change. It'll always be like 0 for every skill until you start playing. different positions you have on the ship, which I'll talk about in a minute, will give them different experience. And then like So that very first one, the first top left one on the first side is piloting. So whoever's piloting right now, it's actually Eiley Karras. If I leave him piloting the entire time I'm playing, his skill will level up and then whatnot, and I can switch him for different ones, and it'll give him different skills and all that. Okay, so these are all the different systems you have on your ship. That's like the different, how do I explain it? The different abilities of your ship, basically. These little bars here are power bars. That's how much power that they take up. So on your ship right here, you always have the piloting area, and then like you can read the description here. It allows the ship to make FTL jumps, which are fast and light jumps. It just allows you to jump from one point to another, and then dodge when piloted. Upgrading adds autopilot and all that. So I won't go through everything here, but I'll go through it as I play the game, I guess. But I'll just point out what this ship has right now. It has a piloting system, which allows us to make jumps from different points on the map, so the different planets, I guess, and to evade incoming fire from enemy ships. This one is a door system. It doesn't need to be manned. What it does basically is it allows you to have control over all your doors. If you upgrade it, it gives you better doors. This one's a sensor room. It doesn't have to be controlled either. Some of these has to be controlled, some of them doesn't. This one doesn't have to be controlled, and what happens with this is it lets you have the ability to know what's going on in your ship, so you always you'll always see every room of your ship. You upgrade it, and at first when you upgrade it, so to second level, you'll see the enemy interior, so you'll see what's going on inside their ship. Then when you upgrade it next, it gives you enemy power use. I will rarely be using that, but it is, don't get me wrong, that is good for the fact that when you do that, what happens is you can see where their power is located, and then that helps you determine what you want to take out if you're being strategic or being crucial in battles. This is the med bay. It doesn't need to be manned. It basically, you bring your troops in there and they get healed. That's that. The shield room does need to be manned. Well, okay. This is the only place that actually needs to be manned. The shield room, it doesn't need to be manned, but when it does, it helps you recharge your shields faster. All the shield room does is it controls your shields. Upgrading it just upgrades your shields. The weapons room doesn't need to be manned, but if it is, you reload your weapons faster, and that just gives you control over having weapons and how many weapons you can have, and just, yeah, how faster you can reload if it's manned or unmanned. Oxygen room doesn't need to be manned, but is very vital. If it is damaged, you need to repair it quick because it's oxygen to your entire ship. So that's that. Last but not least is the engine room, and what that is if you have it manned, then it charges up your FTL jump faster, which helps you get out of battles. But besides that, it also helps you, I believe, evade too. Where's the engines? Right here. Yeah, it helps you dodge incoming fire and also charges up your FTL faster, which you guys will be seeing in a little bit. This right here, what's shown on my ship, is not all the systems for your ship, so you can have many more, and I'll be talking about them as we come along and if we get them too. So here's the weapons. Each ship starts with different weapons and whatnot. You can hover over it and you'll see the name of it. So this is the Artemis missile, this is the Burst Laser Mark II. It'll tell you the description and then how much power it takes to charge time, all the stats. So if you guys want to see, just pause the video on those ones. Drones are just bots that you can have on your ship. It requires a drone system, so that's another different system you can have, and then upgrading that allows you to have more drones. Augmentations is just passive abilities basically for your ship, and then you can only have 3. Some ships start with some don't. This one doesn't. The available achievements here that I did allow you have to get 2 out of 3 to get the second type of the ship, which is like it's not a better version, but it's a different version of the ship. So XCOM1, we'll just quickly, actually no, we'll go out there, and then just the different modes. The only difference between it is the scrap you get basically, and yeah, that's actually it. And enemy generation too. Yeah, that's it. But we're gonna start here. So this is the beginning. Sorry for the long intro, by the way. So this is the beginning. The data you carry is vital to the remaining Federation fleet. You'll need supplies in the journey, so make sure to explore each sector before moving on to the next. But get to the exit before the pursuing rebel fleet can catch up. And then it gives you a tip here, but we don't need it. So there's a couple different ways you can play this. You can play this using the keyboard, but you do need a use a mouse at some points here and there. It's when you're targeting mainly. A lot of this does require the keyboard. So you see there, you can pause the game. You can pause the game during any time, so especially in battle too, which really helps to select where you want to shoot and how you want to damage the ship and all that. We'll get to that after. So here is the main, this is the screen we'll be seeing all the time mostly. Hull right here is just the ship health. It tells you like the current shield's status, so how many you have active and what its status is. Your evading, like your chance to evade, how much oxygen your ship has. This is fuel, so how many jumps you can make. You'll see that in a second. Number of missiles, so like certain weapons like this one takes missiles, and that's basically how many shots with the missile launcher you have. The lasers are always infinite ammo. It's just, yeah, it's just recharge. Drone parts, what drone parts is you need drone parts to send out a robot, well, to send out certain robots. So like if I have an assault drone, I need at least one drone part to send them out, and that's one drone part every time unless I have certain augmentations. Here is our different crews, so you can click on it and then they'll be selected, and I can right click and tell them to go to certain spots. We're going to leave Karis in the engine. Vivid Moore we're going to bring to the shields, and Chris will bring to the weapons. That way these three systems will be manned all the time, so we'll always we'll be trying to evade all the time while having the ability to jump here, because as you see, if I move him, we lose the ability to jump because we need a pilot. So having him here just makes sure that if my shields go down, that they'll charge up faster, and having him here just allows my weapons to charge up faster. One thing I'm going to do right off of the hop with this ship is take power from my med bay and put it to my engine. And what that does is, now if I was to send anyone in the med bay, it wouldn't keep doing that shit. If I was to send anyone in the med bay, it wouldn't heal them because it doesn't have power. Now the reason I do that is because if I add power to this, it gives it more of an ability. So I'll show you here. See how we only have 10% in their evade chance there? If I add this power, it gives more power to the engine, so now I have 15% chance. And then here's the subsystems. This one's to close all the doors, that's to open all the doors, store control, sensor, and then the piloting. And then the ones with the man here just show you that they can be manned. If it's white, then it's manned. If it's outlined, then it's not manned. And this is the only one that requires a crew member, is the piloting system. Here's the ship screen. Go through this real quick. Just the ship name. This is basically, okay, this is scrap. That's what it is in the game, and you use it to buy things or to upgrade your ship. Crew screen, equipment screen, that's it. One more screen that we have, well, there's two screens, but this is one other screen. It's the beacon map. It'll always show you where your exit is. You always have to get there, but you kind of want to dwindle in the sectors for as long as you can. This is sector 1, it's a civilian sector. You want to dwindle here because you want to get as much scrap as possible, because that basically helps you level up, and you want to kind of find more crew and better weapons and stuff. So trying to dwindle in an area is pretty vital, but if you dwindle too long, you'll see that rebel forces fall from behind, and there'll be a line, and then if you fall behind that line, then it becomes extremely difficult for you. So, but enough talking, let's go here first. So we got pretty unlucky. We jumped into an asteroid field, and there's a pirate ship here. It says a pirate ship was laying in wait inside the asteroid field. It immediately moves into attack. So we'll turn and fight. I'm gonna pause it real quick because here's the strategy comes involved. So I can click the numbers, or I can press the buttons down here. And so I'm gonna choose my Artemis missile to fire the shields and my burst laser. Whoops, I don't want that there. To fire at the shields too. You can also turn on auto fire, so when it fully charges, it fires, and then it just charges again and fires, and you don't have to keep because if I didn't have it on auto fire, then basically I'd have to grab it from down here again and select where I want to fire after each attack. Having it on auto fire is just easier. So you're gonna unpause it here, and you're gonna see how the battle system works. We'll never actually. This is how we see the ship right here, and then here it's pretty self-explanatory. That's the health, shields, Shows you the shield, the systems. This is the drone system, and that's where they control like having robots on the ship and where they can like what they can do with it and stuff. And yeah, so whenever you damage a system, it goes on like that. Like as you see, we actually got hit too, and our oxygen room is pretty badly damaged right now, which isn't good. So I'm gonna talk about that in a second. But first, if we damage it, it turns to, well, when you damage it, it goes from green to yellow, which is like mildly, and then red, it needs to be repaired or it won't function at all. If it's yellow, it's damaged, but it has a loss of power basically. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take off my Artemis missile, just so that we don't waste firing Artemis missiles, because we can kill this ship now pretty easy if we just constantly fire the burst laser here and keep them from repairing it. Now I can fire my burst laser anywhere now because their shields are down, so I'll immediately get a hit anywhere, well, unless they evade it. But I want to keep my burst laser here so that they can't repair it, so that they're under constant fire. Now, back on my ship, I got hit, and that's a very vital spot. I don't want to have this down for too long, because if it is, it's just going to drain out all my oxygen and I'm going to suffocate to death. Now, this is a very tough decision to make, but it is what I'm going to do. Because the system's on fire, which means I have to go in there and put out the fire before I can repair it. I have two choices. One, to filter out all the air in the room. If you know anything about fire, if there's no air, fire can't exist. It needs oxygen. So if I filter out all the oxygen in these areas, then the fire will be gone and I'll be free to repair it. But the risk is, obviously, because I have no oxygen, my oxygen system is damaged. I won't be able to I won't be able to like replenish oxygen until afterwards, so it could be a great risk. What I'm gonna do is send him in right now, so my guy that's working the weapons. What I'm gonna try to do is repair this, hopefully, and we're gonna see what happens here. As soon as we put out the fire is basically me in the home stretch to close this off. But I have to be extremely careful because this guy can die. Okay, so we damaged them enough that they're offering surrender. Not every ship will do this, but some ships will. They message us and say, "You have clearly bested us. We merely requested our lives, so we can accept their offer and get 5 fuel, 2 drone parts, and 9 scrap, or we can say that we won't accept their surrender, kill them, and see what we can salvage from them." Because we're in a very bad situation right now, I'm going to accept their offer. I'm going to pause my game for a second here. Now I'm going to have to drag him out of there. It's going to be a tough one. Shit. No, okay, come on. I'm going to have to give power to my medbay because I'm going to need it in a second, and I'm going to need him, and him actually, to both come here, because I'm going to send them in when the fire is done, and then I'm going to repair that as quick as possible. Okay, so you can you'll always be able to tell that there's no oxygen in a certain area because it will be red like that. What I want to do is open that door, and I'm going to send him in right now along with him, and I'm going to try to get this repaired as fast as possible. The reason I kept I'm having this door left open is so it can vent oxygen from this room into this room, so kind of giving it like a 50-50 split. Now that that's repaired, what I can do is go like this and just kind of leave these doors open to vent in the oxygen. Now what I want to do is bring everyone back to where I wanted them to be. He's healed up. If you guys were paying attention, yeah, he did get healed from there because I do have power back in there. But again, I will be taking the power off of that and putting it there. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, so, and as you see, the asteroids are constantly bombarding my ship. So that's never a good one. Now I can jump because my FTL driver is fully charged. So I do that, and I'm gonna actually jump back this way now. You can jump anywhere you want. So, interesting first battle. Okay, now we come to a different planet. There are only 2 ships within range, and they seem to be engaged in battle. One of them has the markings of a space pirate. Now we have 2 options here. We can either stay out of it, or we can aid them. I'm gonna try to aid them. You power up your weapons, engage the pirate ship. So we look at the ship, nothing spectacular except for this. This is an ion weapon. What it does basically, they'll shoot it at me, and it will disable whatever they're shooting it at. Mainly, it will disable my shields because that's the first thing that hits, so it will disable my shields. It doesn't actually damage them, just keeps them offline for temporarily. If they get a fast enough shot off the second time, they can choose any of my systems and disable it for a limited amount of time, so. Again, the plan is simple with this ship. We're going to fire a rocket and the burst laser at the shields, and then I'm going to put offline, or gonna... How do I say this? I'm gonna fire both my rocket and my lasers at the shields, and then I'm gonna stop targeting with my shields so that I can fire with my lasers and keep their shields constantly down, hopefully. So again, they took out my oxygen, never a good sign. I'm gonna have to send him back. He's just the closest, so it's convenient. I don't want to take him off because at worst I can jump out of here. I could take him off, but I actually really should because I don't have shields up anyways. But that's just a risk I'm gonna have to take. I have to be careful here because fuck, he died. Okay. He was low health anyways, but that rocket would have killed me even if I was at like half health. This is actually pretty bad. Pirate ship breaks apart and you hasten to the contact the civilian ships. We get 2 fuel, a drone part, and 12 scrap. We contact them and they say, seems the crew did not survive the assault. You take what you can from the remains of the ship. So we get 2 missiles, a drone part, and some scrap. What? No. So... fuck. So we have a hull breach right here, and our oxygen system is down. And shit, I forgot about that. You go in there. He was damaged, by the way, from the fight because they shot a rocket at the piloting system. Hopefully I can fix this. Every time I have to leave and come back, I'm pretty sure it resets the thing. So if I can do that, hopefully he makes it out in time. If I'm down to 1 crew, I'm extremely fucked. So we're down low oxygen too. Huh. It's a great start. I'm just gonna let the